My brothers, I'm about to hit you with information so useless, so mind-boggling, so juicy. You're not even going to know what to do with it. I didn't know what to do with it. Shit, information I've had since I was 14 years old. And who's to blame?
Hey, I'm Hilary Duff from Lizzie McGuire, and you're watching Disney Channel.
Our Disney Channel. The downfall of many children such as myself and a few others that will be named in this video actually. Now, what did I do with this information that I gathered when I was around 14, 13, too old to be honest? Kept it stored in here like a parasite. I'm about to take you on a spiritual journey. Yes, I am. I'm talking the golden age of Disney Channel. Yep, that's a Raven. Wizards of Waverly Place. Lizzie McGuire. Fuck, why am I blanking on Hannah Montana? Or as Nick Jonas liked to call it, the Love Island of Disney Channel. What a slut. Now, let's go back in time, 2006, okay? This is before the Jonas Brothers debuted, okay? And they used Hannah Montana as kind of a launching pad for their career. Smart move, to be honest, Disney Channel. I see you, Mousy. Before he ever was anything, he was a church boy. I'm not going to get too much into that, otherwise I'm just going to start making fun of them, and we don't want that, do we? One thing I am is a dirty, rotten, stinking, filthy liar. Of course we're going to get into it. Church boys, come on. Sit back, relax, watch it.
It actually started with Nick. Follow me.
Because doesn't it always? Young Nicholas was crooning any chance he got. In the toilet, in the shed, and sometimes in the salon while his mum was getting her hair done, which led him to be discovered. He starred in a few Broadway musicals after that.
Someday, when we are wiser.
By age 11, Young Buck was already signed. But I mean, his solo act wouldn't stay solo for very long. In fact, president of Columbia Records even saw potential in a possible boy band group with him and his brothers.
Me and Kevin were like, hey Nick, can we write a song with you? We wrote a song called Pleasing Mine. It was actually really good.
Okay, enough out of you guys. You get the point, okay? They showed the Please Be Mine song to the president of Columbia Records and signed a deal as a group.
I sat down with the president of Disney Channel and I said, I want to make history. And that's what this is.
Not too shabby for the sons of a church leader, if I do say so myself. And suddenly, it wasn't just Nicholas J. Jonas anymore. It was a boy group. It was... Wait, is someone at the door? Wait 1 second. Who is it? Yo, what the f-
Hey everybody, this is the Jonas Brothers! Yeah!
They did promotion, they promoted their debut album It's About Time on TRL a few times. They made themselves real comfy on TRL a few times actually, hosting for a straight week in 2008. Their lead single Mandy was an absolute banger, yeah? Named after one of their best friends and a girl who actually dated Joe. She was blonde. Shock horror there!
Please send me out. I want to make that so bad.
Get a grip, love. Anyways, a plethora of things happened in between the time that they released their debut album and their self-titled album under Disney Channel. They got dropped from Columbia Records. RIP. Don't know why. I guess the Christian songs weren't hitting. And later got signed by Disney. And then it all began. Nick was actually interviewed by Bop Teen magazine and asked to fill out a fact sheet. Nick Jonas listed Miley Cyrus as his celebrity crush in an issue of Bop magazine. Sensational name, by the way. Shortly before they met that summer, spring 2006. Now let's take it a little bit further. 11 nights into June, as Nick J would say, 2006. Miley Cyrus and Nick Jonas first ever met at the A Time for Heroes annual charity ball. I don't think it was a ball actually. They were introduced by none other than Vanessa. Yeah, Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens. I think Nick put it in like a fucking article or something. He was like, Zac Efron hooked him up, which is so crazy. You're 19, I think, Zac Efron, with your bowl haircut. You're setting up 13-year-old. God bless Vanessa for that. Now we're here. Now rumour has it Nick and Miley became a couple that same night, and those two crazy kids were crazy about each other. Miley wrote in her autobiography, or was it biography? Which one's written by the person? I'm a writer, I should fucking know this. Hannah Montana had been only on air for a few months when I went to the benefit for the Elizabeth Glazier Pediatric AIDS Foundation. I remember the exact date, June 11, 2006. It was the day I met my first love. Let's call him Prince Charming. So we were at this benefit and I didn't even think anything about it or him, except I knew from a friend that he thought I was pretty, as he named in the article. He came up to me with a bunch of his friends and introduced himself. Instantly, I wanted them all to go away and just be with him. He started to shake my hand and I said, I don't do handshakes. I do hugs. When he hugged me, I noticed his scratchy shirt and I blurted out, I hate your shirt. So that was the first thing I said to him. I hate your shirt. Later that night, he and his friends were going out and he invited me along. So Brandy and I ended up going to dinner with Prince Charming and his friends. I remember it took me forever to get dressed. And when I finally ran downstairs, I was wearing sweats. I didn't want to look like I was trying hard. Believe me, they were just the right sweats. After dinner, we talked on the phone. He asked what my beliefs were and I said, I'm a hardcore Christian. Funny now looking back. Anyway, that's what we call ourselves in my family. I thought it was a sign. We were on the phone that night until 4 a.m. and just like that, I was smitten. Like, okay, diva, she flirted her little achy breaky heart off, as she should. I would too, Nick Jonas. Albeit 14-year-old Nick Jonas. Ew. It was later that Nick actually visited her while she was filming TRL, a show that's long since gone out of fashion. And those two crazy kids ended up together. That's the end of the story. I'm joking. There's lots of infidelity. Miley later wrote in her book, it felt like the whole world had stopped. Nothing else mattered. I know it sounds silly, but my family doesn't set rules around love. My mammy met her husband on a Monday and they got married on a Friday. They were together for about 27 years. My mom doesn't believe there's a such thing as being too young or too naive to be in love. In my family, when you fall in love, that's it. No one called it puppy love or made fun of me. Jokes aside, that's terrible advice to give a 14-year-old who has a crush. Like, what the fuck? Do better. Tish Cyrus, or Tish Purcell now. Yeah, I know your tea with Noah, okay? But that's a story for another day, you dirty dog.
And who do you like the best?
That one. I like Nick the best.
You like Nick the best?
Uh-huh.
How come?
Because he's cute.
I personally want to go back in time and shake little Miley's shoulders and be like, don't listen to your mother. I'm your mother now. I might be too parasocial. This is too much for me personally. Can you tell I'm invested? Anyways, it's going swimmingly for them at this point. They attended the Radio Disney's 10th annual summit or something. Their love was blooming. Ew, I'm talking about 14-year-olds, yeah. Nick attended with his ugly scratchy shirt once again. And later on, Miley actually visits him on the iconic Year 3000 set by Busted. What? Who said that? You know, if you think about it, I think the Jonas Brothers should actually re-record that song with Busted, with the original lyrics. Wait, they did. But it was a cutie romance. They were best friends, you know, immediately. Nick made her Build-A-Bear stuffed animals. 14-year-old Nick Jonas treated 14-year-old Miley Cyrus better than I've ever been treated by a man in my fucking mid-20s. How upsetting is that? Why are these 14-year-olds having a better love life than me? I'm sick to my stomach. They talked all the time. Despite Nick living on the East Coast, he would fly to LA to come and visit a young Miley, and she would see him when she was in New York. Bless their cotton socks, mate. And they even spent Miley's birthday together. Yeah, at the Macy's Day Parade. Miley actually writes, everything got more intense and more fun. Suddenly we were neighbours. He moved down the block for context. It felt natural and so easy. He'd asked me to come over at 5 a.m. just to say hi before I went to work, and I just walked down the street. They'd ride bikes together, and he would walk along her riding a bike and sing, I've got sunshine when it's cold outside. I've got the month of May. The other lyrics, what could make me feel this way? Miley. When I researched this and I read this and I was living it in my preteen years, I got hit with the deepest cute aggression. I wanted to knock their heads together. I wanted to monkey jump off the nearest bridge, honestly. We'd play basketball in my backyard or play Nintendo at his place. His family always made yummy Italian food for dinner. I loved to ride my bike and he would walk along next to me singing My Girl, exactly what I just said, basically. Like, these 14-year-olds are genuinely having a better love life than me. I can't not think about it, but not for long. Somewhere between December 2006 and March 2007, they actually decided to split up for a bit, take a break, as one would say, and young Miley Cyrus was devastated. She was heartbroken. She described her heartbreak as one of the most painful things she's ever been through, you know. She sat down, wrote many bangers from it, no pun intended. That poor lass. But this breakup would only serve as a warning sign for this poor girl, you know, a calm before the storm. I'm actually trying shit. They got back together like a month later. Young love, am I right? April 27th, 2007. Nick and Miley spend a lot of time together during the filming of the Disney Channel games. And I think this is why Nick Jonas said this was like fucking Love Island on crack. That's how he described it in an interview. Because one second he's hugging his ex-girlfriend, and then the next minute he's flirting with Alex Russo. Come on, Nicholas J. What are you doing? When they broke up, she said, "Can I have a hug?" And he said no. My OTP broke up December 19th, exactly a week before Christmas, and a week before their romantic getaway. These parents, what do you mean romantic getaway? I know you people are rich with a lot of influence at this point, right? Stars of Disney Channel of the golden age, whatever. But if my superstar daughter came to me and said, "Hey, so like I'm going away with my boyfriend for like a week for Christmas," what? Get back to your room before I slap you on your forehead. Miley wrote songs. Nick wrote songs. Nick actually wrote Sorry in a hotel room. Absolute banger, by the way. Filled with sorrow, filled with pain. Miley and the boys, because they were linked together for so long, had to take many other photographs, and each time they avoided each other, they always put Joe in the middle, which is so funny. Joe in the middle. Yo, Miley Cyrus is the funniest girl ever. What do you mean? Like a week after their breakup, I think December 28th. She actually had to perform with him still. They were still performing on the Hannah Montana World Tour, and they were performing We Got the Party With Us. And there's a part where like her and Nick walk down a platform and just, crowd work. And like she would still flirt with him even after the breakup. She's just like me for real. Anyway, she went from heartbroken to revenge driven. She wanted to be everything he didn't want her to be. He said he loved her blonde highlights. She dyed her hair black. She wore black makeup. He was a hardcore Christian. She wore booty shorts. Meanwhile, Demi and Selena are on the scene. They've been casted in Princess Protection Program. And though social media was in its infancy, Disney was on top. They were quick with the shits. They said, get on YouTube in its infancy and, promote the shit. So that's exactly what they did. They made a channel, Demi and Selena. And they would post like random little clips, them talking, fan Q&As, blah blah blah, all that the other. And around the same time, Miley made a new friend, 21-year-old Mandy Jahlo. I don't know how to say her second name, sorry Mandy. And this was a bit of a controversial friendship, I think. 15-year-old Miley Cyrus, what could you possibly have in common with your backup dancer who's 21? I guess they bonded over the fact that she was going through a breakup and so was Mandy at the time. That's how they became close. And around this time, allegedly, the rumour mill was swirling around Selena and Nick. He didn't fucking let that relationship breathe, did he? Jesus. The body's not even cold yet, Nikki. And with Miley's controversies catching up to her and the new girls on the scene, the public opinion was turning, okay? And I want to remind you, mid-2000s? Nah. Early 2000s tabloids were ruthless, especially when it came to Miley Cyrus. Perez Hilton, you'll fucking pay for your crimes, mate. Look me in the eye. Perez, you'll pay for your crimes. Were Selena and Demi gaining public favour over Miley and Mandy? Mandy's kind of irrelevant. I mean Miley in this. So I want to say March 12th, 2008. Demi and Selena post a video.
Yo. Yo, yo. Yeah, I said it twice. Got a problem with that? Wow.
So, I got this really cool shirt today, and it made me want to give a shout out to my boys.
Who's that? Rangers! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait a minute. Are you ready? It's morphin' time! Yes! I love Power Rangers. I've always wanted to be the red one. And that's a boy, but I don't care. I like that. I wanted to be the pink one, which is ironically enough, because now I'm in all black. Which, speaking of, a lot of you have been saying that I've been wearing a lot of makeup. Which is, it's alright, I agree, but this is a lot. And this is how I used to wear it, like, back in the day in my all black, all dark makeup days. But I guess, you guys don't like that anymore.
Demi, look at me. Look at me. Demi, look at me. Do I have anything in my teeth?
No. Do I have anything in mine? Nope. You sure? Yeah, because that's a trick question. Because I fixed my gap.
And 2 days later, Miley and Mandy post their own video mocking Selena and Demi, word for word, bar for bar, brother.
Yo!
Yo. Yeah, I said it twice. You got a problem with that?
Yeah, I do. You don't know why?
Why?
You got a gap back.
I got it fixed.
You had a gap back in the day.
I got it fixed. Stop.
Okay, so listen.
What's up?
I got a really emo shirt today.
Emo.
Yeah, like emo amazing.
Emo.
You don't know what it is? You don't know what it is? You don't know what it is?
Yeah, what is it?
Ninja Turtles! The mutant kind! The teenage
Turtles?
I always wanted to be that one.
Donatello.
That one.
I wanted to be like the purple one, which is ironic because I'm wearing all black.
Oh my gosh.
But I
it
mean,
is.
like, speaking of all black, some people say my makeup's too dark, and like, I don't really see it. So.
Oh wait, look at me. Look
Yeah.
at me.
Yeah.
That's something my teeth.
No.
It's just teenagers being vicious, honestly. It's actually just classic old flame is pissed at new flame, bitter, if you will. You know, we've all been there, don't lie. I know you've been there, for an uglier man as well. I mean, this is nothing. If you knew what teenagers in the early 2000s were up to in the UK, fucking hell, you'd roll. You'd be horrified. Miley was drowning in scandals at this point, right, yeah? The pole dancing, the Vanity Fair shoot, the leaked nudes, which is so crazy. She was 15, she was a child, and a 19-year-old high schooler is the one that hacked her Gmail account and leaked the pictures to the press, was selling pictures of a fucking minor, and the public were eating it up, which is so crazy. Like, what? That would never run today, as it shouldn't have run back then. It was disgusting, but she was being penalized for it. And I remember the bloody pole dancing scandal. She was dancing on an ice cream truck, and the motherfuckers were saying she was pole dancing. Anyways, Selena's on the up and up at this point, okay? She just signed to Hollywood Records. She had her own band, Selena Gomez, in the scene. She was popping out bangers, like Naturally, yeah? Remember that one? She was being equated to her character on Wizards of Waverly Place, Alex Russo, the ultimate cool girl. Everyone wanted to be her. I wanted to be her, damn it. Meanwhile, Miley Cyrus released 7 Things. Now, this banger, let me tell you about this banger. She released 7 Things, and it was very obviously about Nick Jonas, you know. She was kissing his diabetes necklace. She showed a photo of them with his face blurred, but I found one that hasn't got his face blurred. Miley, you can't fool me for too long. And then the Jonas Brothers released Burning Up. High heels, red dress. A lot of people were actually conspiring that song was about Miley Cyrus, because the Jonas Brothers described the song as being about an insta connection. You find a girl and there's immediately connection, immediately there's chemistry. Rumoured to be about Miley Cyrus. Now this is diabolical work. Why? Because guess who makes a cameo? Gagged! The audacity of Nick Jonas. That man. As you can see, I have a deep love-hate relationship with that man, and it's parasocial and it's one-sided. We'll get to that later. Eventually, Miley moves on, as hard as it can be. She actually does move on, kind of. And when the heat really dies down, Nick Jonas and Selena Gomez, they start dating very quietly. Actually, Nick was a very private person. You know, he didn't want his relationships out there too much. And so they kind of hid in this, you know, secrecy, but not so secret because everyone kind of knew. And that's where she met Taylor Swift, who was dating another Joe bro at the time, Joe Jonas. They bonded, they got closer, and a friendship bloomed from then. That's still ongoing to this day. Circling back to the privacy that Nick Jonas loves so much, it got so bad to a point where him, Joe, Taylor and Selena actually went to a Central Park date. Selena describes it as a very interesting date. It was one of her first times at Central Park, and Nick loved his privacy so much that he told Selena to walk 10 paces behind him with Taylor. Like, they were very obviously there together, but he was like, fuck it, I think it's a smart idea if you walk 20 feet behind me. Dumbass! But guys, the gag is, even though Miley Cyrus and Nick Jonas were broken up, right? And Nick was dabbling in a Selena Gomez, he was dabbling in the Latina category, yeah? They were still very much thinking about each other. Like, Miley was seen several times in public with his diabetes necklace. I promise I'm going to stop calling it that. And he was actually at a sound check with his brothers before a concert, and he played a few chords of Rockstar by Hannah Montana, aka Miley Cyrus.
Did you already ask your question? There's more cards out there? Oh, there's one all the way over there. Way over there.
I love that song, I know. Hey, Alex plays that as well.
And now you're probably wondering, where does Demi Lovato fit in all of this? I'll tell you, brother, she's pissed. She is pissed. Now, what I'm about to say is alleged. To be fair, all of this is alleged. Some of it isn't. But anyway, she got burned by a Jonas brother going by the name of Joseph. They started filming Camp Rock 1 together, and she very much had a crush on him. He was very much flirting with her. You can tell in all the fucking behind the scenes clips. It's very obvious he's flirting with her, knowing he can, much like all boys. And she caught feelings. But then what did he do? He dated Taylor Swift. What did Taylor Swift do? Get close with Demi's best friend. And so the two were no longer best friends at this point. I mean, I'd be fucking fuming if I was Demi Lovato, to be honest. She was always been my favourite, by the way. Demi, don't worry about anything. Who cares? You've always been the powerhouse vocal. Who cares? So now we fast forward a year into the future. Selena and Nick are toast, okay? They lasted about a year. She was tired of being hidden away. She was tired of being, fighting for her life with paparazzi and standing 20 feet away from her boyfriend. And she'd had enough. And Justin Bieber came onto the scene. So the rest was history. I'm lying, of course. The rest was not history. I will never forget, she released a song called Bang 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 or something, and she was taking a dig at Nick Jonas. Bang, 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 I'm breaking in, stealing all my love back, giving it to him. Very much allegedly about Nick Jonas and how he hid her away in their relationship, and talking about Justin Bieber and how he showed her off. Look how that one turned out, am I right? Anyways, March 28th, 2009. Nick and Miley were seen catching up and looking mighty cozy at the Kids' Choice Awards. Sources even say they were texting throughout the awards show. About 2 days later, Selena cryptically tweets, "Was I wrong for being a seat filler? I was just tired of trying to become someone I clearly wasn't. I'm sorry. Writing, studio time." So messy, yum. Selena very obviously didn't attend that event, and it showed. I don't think Nick would have been, next to Miley if she did. Early April, actually the 8th of April 2009, an article comes out about Miley Cyrus and a dream she had, I guess, quite random actually. She told this magazine, quoted, and said, I had a dream, and it's gonna sound really weird, but it's about a Jonas brother. It's about Nick. I had a dream their rabid fans were attacking me, and he came and he rescued me. You know what fucking Selena tweeted after that? So if you're her guardian angel, who's mine? I love how it's easy for you to let me suffer, but not her. The girlies are fighting over Nick Jonas. I get it. I would too. Now, this is where it gets real juicy. April 11th, 2009. Nick and Miley are reunited when they're seen out to lunch together. Now, this is a big deal because it's crisp HD photos from the paparazzi following them outside the restaurant, and the first time they've been seen together apart from the Kids' Choice Awards, I think. So this is big. April 13th, 2009. Miley tweets, "Wish I was at the Dodgers game." Who was at the Dodgers game? Nick Jonas and his belly. At this point, it's summer 2009, and the teen scene magazines were printing all kinds of stuff about Miley and Nick's summer romance, their tumultuous relationship status. Oh, and by the way, they were filming Disney Channel's Green Project, Send It On, the Friends for Change project. Brother, that had to have been awkward. And you're probably thinking, this is not hard proof that they've gotten back together, Ilya. What are you talking about? Brother, they were seen on a jet ski actually tonguing each other down. Please, don't doubt me. 2010, new drama. Justin Bieber's entered the chat, and Miley Cyrus, fast forward, it didn't work out for whatever reason between Nick and Miley. Couldn't find too much on that. But Miley Cyrus is now dabbling in an Hemsworth brother. She's filming the last song. Nick goes on tour with the administration and releases arguably some of the best musical projects to come out of his career. Okay, Nick, if you're watching, probably not. Get back with the administration. What the fuck? What are we doing here? What are we doing? It included bangers such as Rose Garden, Stay, and Olive in an Arrow. Also, I think about Miley Cyrus. It's widely rumoured that the whole album's about both Miley and Selena, which is so messy. January 3rd, 2010, Nick Jonas performs Before the Storm, a song about Miley and Nick's tumultuous relationship. He performs it in Dallas, Texas, the same venue and location as he performed the song the summer before with Miley Cyrus, I believe. Now, what you don't know is that he's now dabbling in a Gomez situation. Now, back again at this point. January 10th, 2010, Nick Jonas performs a medley, an acoustic medley of Can't Have You, Before the Storm and Love Bug. All songs I think he's allegedly confirmed to be about Miley Cyrus. And you know who attended the concert? Miss Selena G. January 16th, 2010. Nick Jonas performed Stay as Selena cried in the crowd. This caused fans to speculate that the song was about her and she was crying because she was touched. But others argued that the song was about Miley and she was crying because she knew it wasn't for her. January 17th, the day after she cried at the concert, Nick and Selena are seen on a park bench together looking less than happy. But they remain together nonetheless. Now we're going to skip ahead a little bit. Actually, we're going to skip ahead a fuck ton. May 31st, 2012, Liam Hemsworth and Miley Cyrus announced that they are engaged. October 11th, 2012. Now this is where it gets messy, okay? Nick Jonas performs a debut song called Wedding Bells, in which the lyrics include, "Pardon my harsh reaction." I'm not gonna sing it. You put me on the spot, but if I'm being honest, I'm hoping I'd get caught. Showing you I'm unhappy, letting you see my truth. Cause if you recall, our anniversary falls 11 nights into June. You know I'd call off my engagement personally. Miley Cyrus is a better woman than me. She says this on a phone interview.
Well, I don't know who else is getting married, so I feel like that's pretty blatant.
Miley eventually got married. Nick eventually got married as well to the Chopra. And you know, the rest was history. But what did we learn today, children? Men will get married when they want to. When they're ready to settle down and they've played the field for a few years, men will then get married to whoever makes them less miserable. Oh, I'm being mean. I'm not gonna... I retract. The way it's not over. I haven't even touched on Demi and Nick yet.
Pop. Or would it be pop music? Ladies and gentlemen, Nick J. Now some may say that this man is a legend. Others would say that he's off the chain. So check it out. This was up on a little website called YouTube. You guys know what that is? And if you know the words, sing along. Yo, I'm so hot, just like a tamale. So destructive, just like a tsunami. Every time I'm near, the Red Cross is there. Cause that's how I be doing things. Because Nick J is off the chain. His name, Nick J is off the chain. Come on, break. I sing my name, see? Yeah, Nick J, Nick J, Nick J, Nick J. What's my name? Say it once again. Nick J, Nick J, Nick J. Oh.